Internet, this is Lord Mad Dog, and we are playing From the Depths. So, this time around, I'm going to do it a little bit different. I said that in the next episode, we're going to build a new ship, and I'm going to call it the Ebben Star. And I decided this won't be an actual playlist of me playing, but I'm going to put this up there for you guys. I hope you can find it. Obviously you did, because you're watching right now. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the process of me building basically the base of the Ebben Star. We're going to start out by using the front end of the light bringer. So I have already copied it, and now I am pasting it in using the capture feature. And now I'm just going to cut off everything but the front end here. And, well, first off, I'm going to actually add to its height. Make it taller. And then we're going to cut this in half. Here, I figured it would be a better idea to do this first. Ah! Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. The first time I tried it, because this is post-process. The first time I tried it, the front end decided to fall off instead of the other way around. And that's because I did not realize it at the time, but I'm building this thing backwards. And that actually becomes a problem later too, when I'm trying to put it into automated controls and I can't figure out why it isn't working. And there, it fell off. And there. Sorry for the little bit of lag at this speed. Just clipping off everything here real quick. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and quickly add in the front. Now we're going to add it, make it go down one farther, because I noticed in the last build it would have been really nice if I had one more layer to work with. Now this front, when I'm done, will be nothing but decoration, more or less. There will be some rudders and stuff in it, but spin blocks in it. But other than that, it's not going to have anything in it that's important, because everything is in the core of it. A little cut there because I couldn't quite figure out how to place these things. It wasn't working out the way I wanted to. And which, actually, for placing blocks like this, it's honestly a lot more trial and error than any real technique that I've found. You just got to keep on grabbing the blocks and flipping and rotating them around until you find something that actually makes the shape you want. And sometimes you just can't. Like right here, I just couldn't figure it out. I end up having a little dimple in it in the design, and I don't really like it, but I couldn't fix it because it's a difference of a 3, a 2, and a 4. No, is it 1, 2, 3, 4? I don't know. There is no block that can go together between a 2 and a no, is it? No, no block that can go against a 2 and a 2. So I was using 2 blocks there, and you couldn't get anything to fit. So you have a little, yeah, when you get a corner like this, nothing actually just fits in there. As you can see, I keep on trying this for a good few minutes, and I get that dimple, and I try to get rid of the dimple, and a bit fast and a bit confusing at this speed. There we go. And I think I might skip a little forward as I try forever to figure out how to do this, because I really did want that dimple, but I just could not figure out any way to get around it. So I will skip forward a bit. Still trying to figure it out. As you can see, that didn't work. And we skip forward until I have decided that I can't fix it, and instead I put a sealed block there, and I'm not going to keep that there. Just wanted to do something about that annoying little dimple. Give me a sec. I need to see if I can stop this lagginess. Sorry for all the construction noise in the background. Like I said, we're moving here in a few... Well, actually, we're probably going to end up moving... No, not tomorrow, but maybe the next day. We're in the process of moving, and there's a construction going on in where we're currently living, so... Yeah! Alright. As I said, I named it the Ebben Star. So I finally get done messing with that little dimple that I can't fix. It really annoys me. And decide to move on to the back here. This is a solid wall. It needs to be a solid wall too, because it will be what we will be using. Here, and now I'm going to go ahead and, it's a 3 thick wall, which will actually open up to the compartments that we're using. You will see what I mean here in a few minutes, as I go ahead and I make a capture prefab here. So I'm going to capture this, make sure that it has the wall. I didn't realize that I didn't have the final wall piece at the bottom. So we're going to put that in there. Make sure it's large enough and copy, then flip it upside down and paste. There we go. That is the base front of our unit. Now I need to capture the back set and copy and paste it. And here I went overboard because I didn't think about it. Now I have an entire open area in the back here that I've got to recut open. Because that's way too thick a block wall. I don't need that thick. Actually, I didn't think I need that thick, but after doing some testing, because like I said, this is in the past, that having that thick of a front wall probably would have actually very much helped me. Because the Ebben Star, as it is right now, can obliterate the Valkyrie, murmurate the Judgment, but the Perforator just makes me into Swiss cheese. And I still haven't figured out how to make the Ebben Star be able to take on the Perforator. I just can't figure it out right at this point in time, at juncture. Maybe by the time I go ahead and start recording the next episode, I'll figure out how to make it so it can actually withstand the Perforator. But it takes a lot to make these things actually capable of fighting godly designs, because they are designers way better than me. And the reason why I've been able to do it so far is that I've been using speed and basically countering every single thing that they are and do. Here I'm just copying and paste this again. However, with the Ebben Star, it's going to be too big to be able to move things, to outrun things by just pure speed. And that's why I cannot fight the Perforator, just because I can't get out of the way of its main particle cannon, and it spams me with the particle cannon, and I blow up apart in the smithereens. I might figure it out. I'm trying to armor up the front, trying to armor up different things. Here. Now I am trying to figure out the backside, and I figured I'd let you see some of the process of me trying to figure out the backside here, because I want to see what type of design we go with. But this is not how I do it. It took me a lot to figure out how to do the backside. I'm going to skip a little bit forward here, because this is not how I ended up going with it. I spent like 3 or 4 hours on trying to figure out how to do the backside. Okay, so here I finally figured out more or less how to do the backside. At least I thought I did at the time. But it's not either. It's not how I go with in the end either. Because I can't get it to connect over here. I get nothing but these little dimples, and it's just really displeasing to me. Trial and error, trial and error. So I will skip forward until I take and try a different way. And here we are. The backside is complete. Let me do. And now we're going to go ahead and cut out the backside here. Well, in a sec. I am sorry for the skippiness and lagginess. My computer just cannot handle things anymore. It just seems to get slower and slower and slower. Absolutely annoying, but let's jump back in here. As I was saying, we are cutting a hole in the backside because I want to put a fin here or something because it is ugly the way it currently is. Just that it actually looks like a butt, and I don't like the look, so we're gonna go ahead and try and put here something that looks very interesting, something visually a little bit off standard. It'll be nothing for cosmetic. That's it, all cosmetics. Trying out this kind of fin structure here. And I don't like that. Let's try that again. Here we go. We're going to try it with a lot smaller. Last time we were using 4 pieces. Now we're going to use only 3. But I think that might still be too long. We may have to jump down to 2 or 1 pieces. We'll see. Actually, if I put, I put it down to 1 like this. And I did not like the looks it either. I don't think. And I decided maybe about trying to put a little bit of extra on the side, add to it by adding, kind of an interesting, another piece that comes down and follows it along the backside and kind of adjust to it like this, to add even more visual interest to it. And actually now looking back at it, I probably should have gone with that because it actually looks pretty interesting. But I did not go with this in the end. I decided to go back with just this here and a much shorter range stick out. So there is that we're going to go with. Just a actually no, we did go with a 3-piece stick out. I remember now. Yep, it looks nice that way. So now here I'm just going to go ahead and rearrange the blocks on the inside so it's not totally vulnerable but a thing that sticks out. Even though if this thing got destroyed, it wouldn't hurt in the least bit. And in fact, I try to make that with a lot of my systems because and if you don't know anything about the guns in this game, the internal spacing is absolutely a must nowadays because the way the guns actually penetrate straight through 3 or 4 blocks of layers of armor and pop out the other end and blow up internals. I guess it might be realistic, but I tell you, it is absolutely almost impossible to anti-design against. So you gotta have armor spacing. So I just copy this and paste it, but I did not realize at the moment that I had not gone down quite far enough. So I've got to, once again, copy it, make sure I go down 1 more, then paste. There we go. And there is the total end shape of the Ebben star, with the value of only 36K as it is. But that's actually not quite done because I still have the interior to armor up a little. And that's what I am trying to do here. I am just armoring the inside here and there, pulling out this right there, just putting a big old wall right here along the inside of it. Too thick. The backside doesn't need to be as thick as the top side. And put a 3 block there. And put then open it up so we can put 4 blocks all the way up, down, up, straight and down, and then we'll just put 3 blocks in here. Is what I did. And that is now the inside. As I was saying before the program unseriously froze on me, that is the inside. You seen the hollow point there? And Now I am going to go ahead and refine a little bit of the insides, not much, just a little bit here and there. And actually, you forget that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to armor up some of the pieces where I'm going to actually put my spin blocks. These are they're going to keep me aloft, these spin blocks. Now this is a prefab turret that I've already made that I'm just setting down. I'm going to set them beside there. And look at them, and these are going to be up and down. I'm actually going to use the up and down keys, yes, to manually adjust my height. Now eventually I may put this on my height on some type of automation system. I always ran my height by LUA box. Is it LAU or LU? Sometimes I get that backwards. Anyway, LAU blocks, LAU blocks, yes. Before, but because I'm using spin blocks instead of rocket engines, I do not like the sound of rocket engines anymore. So there's not really much difference between using rockets, except for spin blocks. You can actually put them in the inside, but they're also a lot more vulnerable when you get hit from the inside anyway. But it's not really all that much difference in resource cost and looks. It's all pretty much just sounds. But the problem with spin blocks is that they are not near as easy to control. At least I haven't really figured out a really good way to control them with LAU blocks is like I can with the other block. Not well with PIDs. It's just but LAU blocks just isn't as easy for me to figure out how to do it. I just don't know how. So with my old setup, I used to be able to push up and down and actually pick an actual it'll tell you the height it'll actually be putting in, and I got that script from almost 2 years ago. I mean, back when they first put LAU blocks in, a guy made it, and then I edited it, and I've been using it forever since. So I'm trying to figure out where exactly to put these things. I'm going to try to make it so they're pretty much equal in the front and the back, because if they're not, your whole thing's going to be tilted. So I'm going to put 2 in the front and 2 in the back, and this will enable me to be able to fly. And also I need some power here, so I'm gonna just quickly put in this. I will replace this mess later on, but now I'm going to use RTGs and battery power and power. Because RTGs are expensive. To power the ship by RTGs, you're going to be talking like 300-400 in resource cost, and I'm going to try to keep this under 250. At least that's the goal. But as I said, I haven't been able to defeat the perforator yet, so I may have to do something more. And here I'm putting in my control systems. If you did not know, if a block does not want to go somewhere and you know it can go there, just take a wood block and... Okay, here, I didn't set these. That's what's going on. I had to set them to continuous up. There we go, everything's now set. Now I push up. And something's obviously not. Alright, let's go with all vert up and see what happens. I put everything all vert up. And we're still not getting the desired effect. It's all trial and error. Alright, so jumping a bit forward here. I think I can get this to work. Just trying putting one to put another one up front, just maybe because I thought maybe the back was heavy. And that didn't work either. And then I tried removing the always up factor, and that just causes some weird spinning factor, and that's not going to work either. I know how to. I do get this working. It just takes a little bit of finagling, but the big problem that happens is after I actually do get it to work, is that the ship wants to flip upside down, and that's because the center of lift is on the floor, on the ground. On the ground. So I have to hang my spin blocks upside down. And I think I'm going to jump to where I do that, so you guys don't have to watch me try to figure this out for a long time. Alright, so now I'm looking at force factors, and I figured out what was going on. One of the back ones were not actually on to motor spin. So there. And now, like I said, I am upside down, as you can see from the force. But it's working. It's flying. It's pretty nice. Now I just have to actually flip them upside right and hang them from the roof, and that'll fix it. Yeah, so I'm going to jump forward to actually do that like I said I was going to. Alright, so I am now just flipped all of them around, and I am readjusting them to be the right settings. And we have a flying shoe. No, whoa. Well, that didn't work. Hurry up and flip this. Bust off some cosmetic blocks as I drop to the ground and reset these. There we go. Now, the Ebben star flies using spin blocks. It's not near as mysterious when you know how it works. When you just see the Ebben star flying all by its lonesome without looking anything like anything powers it, it's really cool. But now that you know how it works, it kind of ruins the mystery. Now, I'm going to set up some roll blocks. This is so to keep it from rolling. And I'm going to put it on automated system. But as I said before, for my control systems, I've always used LUA blocks. And this time around, the LUA blocks don't work with spin blocks. I said that already. I don't know how to get them to work with spin blocks, at least not the ones I have, and I can't rewrite the script to make it work. So I'm going to have to try to use control blocks, but I've never done that. And there is a way to use a PID, but that requires me having control blocks. I have to have control blocks. I have to have one set when command set to go up, command set to go down, command set to go left, and command set to go roll right and roll left inputs. And right here I'm just clipping the top of the turret so it doesn't go outside of the ship, so it can actually spin. See right there? Now these are my roll blocks. And I don't want to set up that complicated of a control system, because when you have that many control blocks and if one of them gets destroyed or something, you can really get a big mess going on. I like LUA blocks because they usually eliminate all that mess. You just put it in there, you put it in a little armored section around the AI, and you're fine. But with spin blocks, I haven't been able to figure out how to do that. There we go. We now have, these things are all set to always up right now. Roll fix. Alright. And I saw I was going to do left and right here, but I didn't go with that. See, I could actually adjust the roll left by just pushing the left and right on the arrow block keys, but I don't go with that in the end. And I can't get this to work, and somebody else, some dude on this Discord server named Moon, M-U-N-E, helps me. He's awesome. He did it. He figured it out. My biggest problem was I did not realize that my ship was backwards. Yes, I've been building my ship backwards. And I was not hitting the right things here. I'm just testing it out there, and it doesn't seem to actually be working. It's not enough effect range. but I'm not going to show you me messing with the blocks for like ever. So we gone and stop messing with the blocks. They do not work yet, but we will get them to work. Now we're going to install our main thrust blocks. These will control our vertical and turnings, our forward speed and forward, back speed and turning. And I will show you how to do that. How I can do that here in a sec. What was it? Let it go through and yeah. Alright. And the thing's getting a little bit laggier as it goes on. Here we go. I'm going to put this right there. Put it, yeah, I think that's good. Attach. Boom. And then we're going to put it on both sides. And now we're going to change its settings. To forward as U, backwards as J, and Y and A as turn. And now you can see this one goes forward and turns. Now I need to do it to the other one. We're going to set it U and Y and I. And what that'll do is make it so I can either turn like so. Like I'm turning, you can see the force is there. So as I go backwards and forwards, if you understand the force direction systems. If you don't, I'm sorry. I just realized I had the I and Y backwards. So I got to switch those around. There we go. And there, perfect turning. Look how fast that thing turns. Now, this thing, at this current form, it will not do this later on. But in its current form can hit 80 meters per second without any character add-on stats. So it's pretty awesome at this state. But after putting all the engines and stuff that I'm going to have to put into it, it drops down to about 72. Okay. Now I am installing. I was thinking about installing up front. Well, no, this is the back here. I'll jump to the back. This is going to be my pitch control block. With this pitch block, and I end up putting 3 of them. And with this pitch, what will happen is when it goes too far forward or too far back, and it's in the very back end, it'll push it down up or pull it down. So, and once again, I couldn't figure out how to do the control block, the blocks. My main problem was, see there, it should be 3 plus N, but it instant reverse, but it keeps on going, and the main reason why it wasn't working is because I'm building my ship backwards. At least that's what I was told. That's what happened, and that's why it wouldn't work. Now it all works, beautiful. But I'm not going to show you me messing with this, as it does not. I'd never get it to actually work. Yeah. All right. So we moved on from that, and we are working on another spec. We're actually not set. We are going to increase the length of my forward and backwards bin turrets, and I'm trying to find this prefab right here. This is the one I was looking for. Now I'm just going to continue to increase it until I cannot increase its height anymore. And I'm going to go over here and do the same for this. That'll give us a lot more forward thrust and backwards thrust, and able to turn faster as well. See, perfect, beautiful speed, 84 to 86, 90 meters per second, and instant turn abilities. As I said though, after putting all the equipment and everything into it, the weight dramatically increases. Right now though, with the Ebben Star at this point, I do have to do a little bit more editing. I also decided not to use the Y and I. I'm going to use the H and K to turn. Okay, but at this point, you can do anything with the Ebben Star. And any type of weapon system, anything, this thing will be beautiful. Pretty well, not because it's not got the roll and whatnot fixed, but it'll be here in a few moments. I will flip over to that version that has been fixed for me by Moon. He helped fix it. And here I am armoring up the sides a little bit here, because I want to put in a little bit more rotation power,
because I don't think it turns quite fast enough. And this gets confusing. At this point, when you have so many spin blocks, it becomes very hard to see what you're doing and to figure out what you're doing. Spin blocks are, I wish you could actually hit no animation on them for some time, because it gets really confusing with all the spin blocks intersecting with themselves, even though they're not actually intersecting with themselves. There we go, and we have just a little bit more spin forward and spin backwards. We're still not quite good settings though. I got one of these backwards here somewhere. Can't figure out which one it is. I think it's this one, if I remember right. It needs to be switched around there. There you go. Now we have a nice spin, real good spin. And this is the fixed version that Moon helped me do, I think. Yeah, it is. Is it checking out these little spin blocks here and see what he did with them. And now after that we're going to make it so I can go left and right. Now what do you mean by left and right? I mean the whole ship will shift to the left or right, and I'm going to do that by lining the walls with spin blocks. Oops, I accidentally removed a wall there. I'm going to put 3 sets of spin blocks, like right here, and they will push against the interior, pushing it to the left or right. This will help us dodge super powerful big weapons like crammed cannons or really slow moving 500mm bullets. And I'm just putting these in here, and then I will have to edit them, and then you'll see what I mean by being able to move left and right. Right now they are pushing against each other. I have to fix the one side on one of these, and then I'm going to also come back, and because 2 of them can actually be used to help me turn even faster. And that was the beauty of this. There, see, now we can go left and right like rocking a boat. That enables us to dodge a lot of really powerful bullets. The only problem is it's all manual, so I have to think really quick on my feet if I'm going to be doing that. And the controls are not quite right for me to do that. It's a little hard to... I wish it was the WASD. That would make things so much easier. And yeah. Anyway, there we go. That also adds to my turning a decent bit. I really should have really stellar turning at this point. I should be able to turn on a dime, but after I put all the weapon systems in it and everything, I put 4 massive engines in it. I was going to go with a boiler system, but the resources on that is just insane. In fact, what I would really love to do, the boiler system just eats the resources, and it's not very efficient. And so I went with the engines. And now we have armored it up. It took me a long time to armor up this beautiful thing. I also put surge block besides shield. Okay, we shielded it up. That's what I was to say. And I do believe this is pretty much all I'm going to show, because the weapons and engines and different things, that's going to take a long time. But I will show you me going ahead and making the main Ebben Star missiles here. We're going to put an entire, because I figured this entire front area is not really going to work for any type of cannon system, due to the fact that it's never going to be able to shoot. It would have to bend. I'd have to tilt to the right or tilt to the left to be able to make it shoot, and that's just not going to happen. So I decided to make it instead a giant missile pod up here. I'm putting an AI in it. Yes, I am indeed putting an AI in it, and the reason why I'm putting an AI in it is because I want to be able to turn it to EMP missiles and jump out of my ship and just let it pelt whatever my target is with EMP missiles as I try to capture it. Probably not going to be actually any use, but it could be. So we're going to go ahead and armor this up, and we're going to put down the missile slopes, missile launch pads. Actually, rethinking this, because these missiles are rather short compared to what I really would have liked them to be. I probably should have just made it so it shoots out one side with really massive missiles instead of shoots out the one side with two sides with kind of smaller missiles. No, I don't want that. I want it longer. Yeah, I want it 4 times. We gotta cover up the missiles better. There we go. And so we have a nice top hat, an armored top hat. And I do believe that is pretty much all I'm going to show you of the making of the Ebben Star. I think I'll go ahead and take the Ebben Star as it currently is against the Judgment in the test mode just to show you it out a little. First we got to edit our torpedoes to be a little bit more worthwhile. Okay, this back from when I was playing was always fragmentations at 45-degree angle. That was the best. I do not know what is the best anymore. Some people told me that frags are not worth good at all. I mean, recently I was just told that, and from my own experiments though, I think fragments still seem to be the best, but I'm not sure. I know there was a fragment nerf since the last time I played, missile fragment nerf, because honestly missiles were really, really overpowered when I last played. They were dramatically reduced since the last time. Here I'm quickly adding a ammo pod, but this will be removed later because I decided to put big engines in here and spread out my ammo a little bit more than just put it in one big area. Because this turned out to be not a good position to put my ammo as for my testing. The perforator just always one-shot it with its super nasty particle cannons. I mean, it just one-shot it. I want particle cannons. I want laser beams. I'm tired of using advanced cannons. It gets boring using one weapon the entire dang game. Alright. I'm gonna skip forward and let you see me test this thing against a Judgment without any actual real weapon systems. Wait, first we have to put in some actual material storage. Even though we are playing a game where there is no material storage, I still always put material storage in my ships because that way they can be used by anyone. Alright, now we're loading the Judgment. And here I am making it turn it around to I'm actually facing the Judgment and flying straight on towards the Judgment. My shields seem to be working pretty good. They're not perfect. I may have to adjust them. But as you can see, I'm taking a beating from the Judgment, and he's only taken off my cosmetic block so far. And here I drop out of the sky. That did not actually happen because my systems died. It's because I tried to adjust my height because I wanted to come lower and I keep on hitting. I'm over adjusting. Like I said, I want to be able to actually set my height just by pushing up and down like I did with LAU blocks, but I don't know how to do that. So if you know how, comment in the comments or show me a link so I can figure it out. And here I realized that my missiles aren't actually getting close to him because they're running out of fuel. So I get rid of one of the fins and put in an extra fuel. And the missiles are pelting it really well. Really well. I can defeat the Judgment with almost missiles alone. Except for I didn't realize that missile radar buoys would work to cause missiles to see some of my missiles keep flying off in random directions, and that does not make me happy. I couldn't figure out why they were doing that. It's because they're going after the radar buoys. Oh, he finally hit my ammo. He hit my ammo block position. But it doesn't matter because I have massive amount of actual ammo things. And here I decided to try to figure out how is he, this is how I know, how is he causing my missiles to go flying off? Because I have active radar seekers, and here I realize it is definitely a radar buoy, but you cannot launch more radar buoys than you have something. I can't get the radars to launch. Someone said somewhere that you have to have radar detectors or something before the radar buoys will launch. And killing the Judgment with nothing but missiles alone would take a really, really long time. And the radars, I couldn't figure out, why is it going after them stupid flares? Alright, so... And I'm going to mess with the radar buoys here, but you don't want to see that. And, yeah. And here is the current version of the Ebben Star. Right now it's using a spine-mounted cannon and the two cannons from the Basher. This will probably be the version that we actually use in the campaign, begin to use in the campaign. I do not know how well it will perform, but you will probably want an inside look. So let's go ahead and see if I can get you in any type of way to perform a good view of the inside. Alright, so here's the ammo blocks. This is basically that entire there's my anti-laser system, and I do have some repair blocks. Let's see here. This is really confusing in here. Wait, where is my... No? I want to show you my... Where... Ah, here. This is my control system. Right here is my control area. Sitting on top of the block, so I will be able to jump out of the ship with just one jump. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's 4 massive engines and one giant laser system in the very middle that kind of interweaves with everything. And then these are the outsides that have all the functioning there. These are the shield blocks. This is the inside, and I lined the walls with fuel because this thing eats fuel like crazy. It's sad, but it dies. And more of the outside, and then the Texas systems, and yes, that is on a splint block on the inside. I know some people say that's cheating, but the fact is I hate the looks of the detection system. I hate the fact that I have to have the anti-missile system on the outside. I like looks, and the detection system is ugly, and you can't just put it anywhere. So, you know, and that is what the Ebben Star currently looks like. with its entire setup. Hopefully I will have some lasers to replace the main mountain gun, and maybe some particle cannons to replace the Vasher turrets. I know I will have to have more of an energy system. Right now I have 40,000 energy, and there is some ways to get more energy in there. It's a little confusing to try to show you, but there is a little bit of room in there. I could probably put maybe another 10k energy, and the total value is just under 200k right now. See, total and resource value. I'm not very understanding on volume. That's a 15k volume. I don't know if that's really good or really what is it. I just go by resource value. Other people go by volume. So I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in a White Flares Godly Judgment. Now, what's annoying is the Judgment has a nice, really powerful volley. So you'd be best to stay out. Oh, it just spawned right underneath me. That's just brilliant. Here. So you would want to get backwards, and stay out of its range with the first volley. Because my guns, even though I have a good amount of them, they don't ever seem to hit because, well, they're player-based. And as you see, the Judgment's weapons do not seem to do much damage to me at all, which is really nice. It doesn't show them bouncing off, but they do. And there goes the main 500 enemy cannon shooting, spine-mounted cannon, shooting right at its main gun and missing. I'm hitting a little. We might need a little bit more height than what we have. And there goes the side gun shooting. And I just clipped, I think I finally just clipped its boom. And there goes the side weapons finally shooting again. As you can see, my health is, oh, there it went down. I was starting to say my health is not even dropping at all. Boom. I'm trying to take out its other gun here, the 5mm cannon plowing into it. And I will show you the weapon bolt types I am using here in a moment. I think I'm using squash heads, or is it heavy lead? Heat in squash heads, I think is what I'm using. There's a heat in the copperhead. I think the squash is the copperhead. I'm not sure, but they're the ones I have found to work the best against shields and everything else combined. And something here is still shooting at me. But this, I have now pretty much obliterated. Oh, it must have been the main cannon that was shooting at me. Yeah, and that's, where'd I go? There it is. That is how she works. Now, the big problem is no matter what I do at long range with player controls, I can't get it to be accurate. So if I start way away from him, which is good for some battles, but let's say I start super far back and I target it perfectly, I still can't hit it, while it can nail me every single time because the detection system's accuracy is far, far greater than the player accuracy. And I could spend a long time sinking the Judgment, but it's not worth it. Now, oh yes, I wanted to show you the bullets I am using, the type I am using, build. And yes, I do have the shields so they show when they turn on, because sometimes I lose a shield and I don't realize it, and that can be catastrophic. Let me see if I can find on the inside here one ammo clip shell, ammo input feeder. There we go. Yes, I am using, oh wait, I shouldn't be using a frag body. No, it should be heat all the way through with the squash head. I didn't even know I was doing that. That was a mistake. Oh no. Oh, that's what happened. Where's my squash head? Okay. We concentrate the explosive directly behind it into a shockwave that creates interior spoiling, destroying large chunk of vehicle walls. Yes. And from my experience, I have tried out a lot of the different ones. The squash head seems to be the best all-arounder. It works well with inertia fuels to take out shields. It works amazing when there is no shields and you just got the 2 heat behind it. So if you want to see for shell diameter, which is all the way up to 500. And so expected reload time is 36 per clip. Optimal barrel length 10 meters, which I think I have. I think I have 10 meters. Actually, I think I have longer than 10 meters. Let me look. I've never actually looked at that barrel length. So these are 4-meter blocks each. Where do we see barrel length? I don't think that's actually on there. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 15. 15 meters. And that's not considered a meter. Now let's go back in here and find a shell block again. Ammo clip. There we are. No, that's ammo clip. Here, come on. Autoloader. Solid autoloader. Just do a solid clip. Come on, where is this thing at? There. Ammo input feeder. There. So at 3-meter shell rack needed for this, I have 8-meter shell rack, which I'm not actually sure the difference between shell racks. I don't understand. I thought bigger shell racks would hold more shells. Maybe that's where I'm wrong. Maybe I can make this cannon far more better than faster shooting than I think it can. Hey, put it in the comments, because it could be kind of confusing building a good gun. So it's HESH, spoiling metric. Okay, so it's called a HESH. All right, HESH thump damage is 3,800K. 3,800. And I do not have any rail on it. I could probably put a rail on it and try that out, but I don't think that will work very well. Expected kinetic damage right now, but kinetic damage doesn't really do all that much because everyone's got shields. Now I will show you what happens when I try to fight the perforator. It takes a while for it to load in, and here it is, the perforator. I gotta get close fast, because at this range, player aiming cannot hit at all. And now the perforator has already taken out my front shields, and its missile spam does insane amount of damage, even though I have really good I don't understand that. I have really good, should have really good laser systems. Oh wait, I got a hit! I got a hit! That was a lucky hit. There was internal explosions. And once again, its missiles just fly right over top of my anti-missile. And I'm starting to sink. It's hitting my front rotors. And I can't see, it's shooting too many weapons for me to see, but yes, it just killed me. It has wiped out my front. It has hit into my systems. Wait, no, it shouldn't be killing me. Well, yeah, it took out my guns. And because my computer can't handle it, you can't see it. It's still shooting me with massive amount of weapons and I can't do anything about it. I thought for a moment there, yay, I was gonna actually win, but no. If player at shooting could hit at a range, I would fly far, far away from this thing and just nail it. But it can't. And actually, I kind of wonder if a lot of my problems that me not being able to actually fight this thing with this is because my computer just can't handle it, so it's not calculating my damage that I do against it, and it's only calculating the damage that's getting done by its particle beam cannon and its weapons. I mean, because I know particle beam cannons are a hit scan weapon, and they're a lot easier to calculate. So, I don't know at this point. Yep, and that is the Ebben star where it's currently at, its capabilities. Destroy enemy vehicle. As you see, it's starting to open up and inside. And I don't see how it shot straight through 2 layers of heavy armor without actually shooting through it and wiped out my turret. My, whatever. And now it's torpedoes. I will have to actually add another layer of heavy armor that's not actually touching that heavy armor. And I won't be able to hit that, maybe. I don't know. So, that's the Ebben Star. I hope you enjoyed this look at it. Lord Mad Dog, signing off.